2 weeks ago today, I opened up OpenClaw on my PC for the first time and told it to run a YouTube channel completely autonomously. And it did just that. But nobody watched. So here's exactly what happened after that. Alright, so my main idea for this channel was pretty simple. The idea was to build a fully autonomous AI finance YouTube channel. This channel is faceless and requires no manual labor for myself. The system would wake up every morning, scrape the headlines, write a script, read it with an AI voice, render a video, and upload it all by 6 a.m. every single day without me touching a thing. The original idea was to have two channels. One, the AI automated faceless YouTube channel posting YouTube shorts, and then channel 2, the channel you're watching right now, documenting the whole build. One channel was built to fund the other with ideas. I thought it was an elegant idea. I thought it was airtight. I thought I'd crack something. And that was my first mistake. On day one, it wasn't even a content day. Day one was spent just trying to get the environment to run commands. I spent over 3 hours trying to get the local gateway, OpenClaw, to work before I could run a single line of command. When I finally got that figured out, the first agent I set up was named Dwight. I named it after Dwight Schrute, assistant to the regional manager, the right hand, not in charge, but my go-to. That distinction I put in place on day one was gonna matter more than I ever thought. So the architecture was simple. A Python scraper wakes up in the morning and checks the market news. That scraper feeds the headlines into ChatGPT. ChatGPT wrote the script. 11 Labs would read the script out loud to give it some type of voice, and then a cron job agent would assemble the clips. After that, a cron job would upload the video automatically at 6 a.m. every single day while I'm sleeping. This will require zero human intervention. Within hours of starting, I had hit my first wall already. Cloud Opus, my primary model at the time, started hitting some hard rate limit caps. Just because I was tier 1 still, because I just started my account. So I added another API, and this one was from Google. And I set up Google Gemini Flash 2.5 as my primary model, because it was cheap and smart. This was the first lesson of my entire project. Multi-model fallbacks are not optional. They are part of critical infrastructure for this channel. The idea for these channels isn't new. However, I thought my execution would be, and that was my next mistake. By day 2, I'd already blown up my original content strategy. The morning cron job to do the daily digest ran twice due to a scheduling error. Instead of fixing the bug, I asked back, is this actually the right format I should be doing? 2 videos a day? Little did I know, it wouldn't be. So I killed the morning digest entirely, and with that, I redesigned a lunch break video. This video would encapsulate midday moves, futures, market movers, and provide an intraday recap, all in one clean package. However, this strategy changed as well before I could upload a single video. By February 22nd, the full pipeline already existed. This is what I call the orchestrator. It's the conductor. It runs the sequence. Step 1, scrape financial headlines. Step 2 is the script. GPT writes this based on the headlines it was given. Step 3, text-to-speech. 11 Labs was king here. Step 4, render. Remotion compiles everything into a single video file. Step 5 is the upload. Discord gets a preview, while my YouTube channel was getting the real thing. Before generating a new image, the system would check the master index file to make sure that we didn't have one it could use already. If the score threshold hits 2 matches, it would reuse what was already in the asset library. If not, we generated something new. Every video still forced VO to create one video asset to keep our library growing. The first real video successfully rendered on February 22nd. The S&P 500 was up 0.0%, but that's because this wasn't a market day. It was just a test, and it worked. The problem with building this machine was that I started to fall in love with the machine. You stop thinking about its actual output. You start thinking about the elegance of the system you're building, and you're not making content anymore. You just get stuck debugging an assembly line. Then you start wondering if the video asset threshold should have 2 tags or 3 before it gets reused. Then you're stuck refactoring the TTS speech from 11 Labs for the 4th time during the pipeline before you had a single video even rendered. See, that's an API trap that I walked straight into. There was also a Kimi K 2.5 configuration disaster that I experienced in the same day. So you had the wrong provider prefix in the config file on OpenClaw, and the OpenClaw doctor command tried to fix it, but it wiped the entire configuration to factory defaults, and a full rebuild was then required. Lesson learned the hard way. Never write directly to the config file when the config file is invalid. Use the CLI. Then use your surgical JSON edits for anything the CLI couldn't fix, and not the other way around. I spent more time debugging the system than I did thinking about if anybody was actually ever going to watch the videos. Both things were true at the same time. The pipeline worked, and nobody cared to watch. So the pipeline was built, and the videos were rendering. But there was a problem. My PC needs to be asleep to not turn my room into a sauna or some type of desert environment, but the cron jobs need my PC to be awake so they can run fully. These two requirements are in direct contradiction of each other. So the solution? Well, you teach the computer to wake up on its own. This is the full stack that I built in 72 hours to allow me to do this. How to go to the BIOS first. S3 sleep enabled, wake on LAN enabled, ERP and AUP power settings disabled. Those two settings cut the power to the network adapter when the PC is asleep, which prevents the remote wake up entirely. That is why they had to be disabled. table. And next was the device manager. Wake on Magic Packet had to be enabled on the Ethernet adapter. Then we had the task scheduler. These were two XML files that I had to do myself. No OpenClaw help. So I created the wake pre-market at 7:30 a.m. and the wake post-market at 3:45 p.m. These were both registered as system operators, meaning there would need to be no login for me to be able to use this. It survives reboots, and it doesn't care if I'm logged in at all. Then I had to install Tailscale, both on my PC and my phone. This enables me to send a wake on LAN Magic Packet from anywhere in the globe, as long as my PC is on sleep mode. Then I created a PowerShell listener on port 9999. That sits there waiting for Tailscale to get the Magic Packets to turn my PC on. One tap on my phone, and my PC wakes up from across the world. And finally, the pipeline guard, the sleep guardian, which kept my PC from falling back asleep while the tasks were operating. This was very important to keeping the machine running. It holds a wake lock on the system until the pipeline itself releases a done file. The second that flag appears, it releases, and my PC falls back asleep on its own. And so it worked. Every morning at 7:30, the monitors wouldn't even turn on. The machine just wakes up and runs its pipeline and goes back to bed with zero human intervention. At this point, I already built more complex infrastructure than most small businesses have in their entire lifetime. I built all this just to upload 60-second YouTube shorts to a channel with no subscribers. But I was very proud of it, and I started to learn what was capable. Then came February 25th. The post-market video didn't generate until 4:15 p.m. The pipeline guard crashed super early, preventing it from staying awake. The post-market video didn't generate. The PC, well, it fell asleep before the cron job could even finish. And the PC finally woke back up when I got home from work at 11 p.m. Hours later, the video rendered fine, but then Discord itself rejected it. Forbidden 413. The file size was simply too large. The video itself was 19 megabytes, and I believe Discord's maximum upload is 8. So I started working and added an auto compressor to our pipeline. FFmpeg, CRF28, and it runs automatically before the Discord upload. That problem, another problem that I saw. And then I finally went to bed. I woke up and realized that every automated channel needs a character. Without a character to follow, data just becomes a spreadsheet. So I built a character. And, well, his name, it was the Wolf. The Wolf was conceived and built in a single overnight session on February 24th. His character DNA, well, was drawn from 5 real-life people. Jim Cramer, the energy, the theater, finance as a performance. Josh Brown, the reform broker. I added him for the rationality. He cuts through the noise and he takes no BS. Then we added Charlie Munger, the no-filter contrarian that we needed on our panel. Then I added Jordan Belfort, but the DiCaprio version. Because as a kid, I liked his confidence and his swagger. Then finally, I added Michael Burry, the occasional doomsday guy, the one that sees the cracks that no one else can. So you take those 5 personalities and you shake them up, and that gives you the Wolf. And this character, the Wolf, I was genuinely excited about. But then I watched it back, and I realized this content was bad. Now, technically, it wasn't bad. The pipeline worked. Every piece of the machine functioned exactly how it was supposed to and designed to, but the character itself had no soul. It was just a robot reading random headlines and pretending to care for himself. The energy, it felt performed. Mostly generic. See, the Wolf, it had a personality file, but no actual personality. It was just LARPing as someone who did. And those two things cannot coexist on this channel. So of course, as a builder, I ran a full diagnostic and I found 5 priorities to fix the Wolf. Priority number 1, the most important one in my opinion, was to give it a real voice. So I went to 11 Labs to make a clone of mine. This was simple, yet the most important priority on my list. Number 2, I told him to react and not just report. Every segment of his videos needs the Wolf's actual take. Not just the S&P 500 was up today. We needed a why. What does that mean for the future? Who got hurt and what do we do next? Priority number 3, animate our charts. S&P 500 line was drawing itself and there was no more static images behind the Wolf. Number 4, embrace the imperfections. Start implementing some catchphrases and admit when he was wrong. See, characters who admit when they're wrong, even if they're AI, become more interesting. And priority number 5, the final one, was to fix the packaging. The thumbnail and the hook needed to be clean. We needed something that would stop the scroll in the first 2 seconds. And that was my overall diagnosis for the channel of the Wolf. And now it was time to operate. Then on week 3, I finally hit another wall. This wasn't a technical wall that I could fix with an AI coding though. It was a human wall. See, I spent 15 hours editing a single 3-minute YouTube video for this channel, which would go on to get like 20 views. That is not sustainable and will cause me to burn out super quick. 15 hours for 3 minutes. That's not a business anymore. That's a second job with way less pay and no benefits. So something had to change. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I simply built another tool. I called this tool the MetaEditor, a 4-phase automated asset preparation system. Phase 1, the packager. Feed it the rough idea of the video, and it would spit out 10 viral title ideas and 3 thumbnail concepts. AI does the brainstorming for its AI channel. Then came phase 2, the scavenger. This was automated keyword extraction from the script, automatic B-roll download from Pexel's API, free, royalty free, and done in seconds. Phase 3, I called it the archivist. This turns actual development's history into document-style context footage. This is just free B-roll for the thing that I'm actually developing. And finally, phase 4, the assembly. This phase orchestrates everything. It would build the standardized project folder ready for drag and drop use in DaVinci Resolve. The packager itself took 3 different API attempts before it actually worked. Olama, the provider prefixes didn't work, dead instantly. Then I used Gemini, 404 error, saying that the model name has changed. Then I got a 429 from them as well, saying that I was rate limited. OpenAI with GPT 5.1 codecs, well, it didn't exist publicly yet, so that was another dead end. Then we finally ran into a winner. OpenAI /v1/responses API, which finally worked with ChatGPT 4.1 mini. The correct input type we discovered was input_text, not just text. One character is the difference between it working and not. So my local AI agent is now building B-roll for videos about building a local AI agent. This recursion, it would not go lost on me. And there we had it. The Wolf pivot folder assembled itself. 10 B-roll clips, real error logs formatted as documented style context, 10 title options, and 3 hacker-style thumbnail designs. The edit time dropped from 15 hours to just under 4. That's the only metric that really mattered to me. Also built in this window was the Hedra lip syncing layer for the wolf. We also built a custom background generator tied to the wolf's market mood: bearish, bullish, doomsday. Each mood mapped to a specific Flux image prompt, auto-generated and saved to a vault full of background assets. The wolf has a talking head overlay on top of the chart data. The machine was starting to get more sophisticated, but the audience remained at 0. So now I'm 5 weeks in, March 18th. This is the biggest milestone of the entire project so far. The wolf stopped being a character that was being impersonated by Dwight and became a real separate AI agent. His own soul.md, his own agents.md, his own configuration, his own memory directory, his own Discord bot account with his own avatar and name. And then we locked the authority chain into place. The wolf was no longer being run by the pipeline. The wolf was running the pipeline himself. And that was the flip. That was my aha moment. Every cron job needed to be rewired. Both studio jobs now explicitly target the wolf's identity files, his memory, his performance scorecard, the market snapshot, and gave him full creative control over his pipeline. This also included script direction, title selection, thumbnail concepts, and his own visual style, all generated now by the wolf. The YouTube auto upload pipeline was also created during this time window. Videos uploading as private automatically. The final step of the pipeline is now fully wired. And then came the 3-way routing test: Juice, Dwight, and the wolf in Discord simultaneously. The first message came through: wolf's name, wolf's avatar, wolf's profile picture, and the message said Dwight here. 3 weeks of routing code, 1 wrong line of context, and the wolf's very first message was delivered in the voice of his operations manager. And so I left it in the logs because some things like that just deserve to be preserved. So now the wolf was supposedly working. The pipeline was trying to run twice a day, and the machine was doing its job, waking up. But unfortunately, the whole pipeline was broken at its foundation. I'd achieved my goal of setting up fully autonomous AI content generation with a daily schedule and required 0 human interaction. But the output was literally a 6-second failed video with no scenes and no voiceover. So 6 weeks in, and I finally had to face reality for the first time. The wolf, my fully automated AI content strategist that had spent hours building, debugging, and letting run while I was asleep, well, it never actually uploaded a single video to YouTube. Just that one 6-second clip of a failed video. No voices, no scenes, just the intro card and its patented sign-off. I wasn't even failing the YouTube algorithm yet. I was failing the code. But I realized there was a second set of analytics I could start looking at since the wolf wasn't working. And that was channel 2, JuiceClaw, the documentation channel. The one where I was actually being a human behind the screen. I looked at YouTube Studio and realized my early videos were getting nearly 4,000 impressions. The YouTube algorithm was trying to find an audience for my build videos, but with a 1.9% click-through rate, nobody was actually watching. And here's the thing that took me way too long to understand. YouTube wasn't penalizing the quality of my videos. It was just penalizing the packaging. See, I was using generic AI automation thumbnails. There was no emotional hook and nothing that stopped people from scrolling on their phone. It also didn't help that right in the middle of trying to upload serious builder content that I wanted to upload a March Madness short. YouTube saw a channel that was uploading videos about building AI, then a March Madness short, and then more videos about building with local AI. YouTube couldn't categorize who my audience actually was. And because I uploaded this short, my YouTube audience signal was completely fragmented. So the wolf was broken and the documentation channel was dying. The method was working, but the framing was wrong. And I realized that was a fixable problem. So at the end of week 6, I killed off the faceless finance channel. Not paused, not restructured, completely killed it off. The wolf pipeline, the cron jobs, automated uploads, the twice-a-day render cycle, it all went completely dark. But not because the tech didn't work. The tech did work, but because I realized I was building in the wrong direction. See, I thought I should use AI to remove myself from the content. I was treating my own presence, my face, my voice, my actual point of view as a liability to the channel. Something to be replaced, automated around, hidden. But I was the content the whole time. The audience that was growing, slowly, frustratingly slow, wasn't growing because of the wolf. It was growing because of the videos where I personally showed up, where I talked about what I was building, and where I admitted my own personal mistakes on camera. Originally, I was just trying to build a shortcut. This shortcut, though, taught me that I wanted to build something real. So we pivoted again to completely new architecture, Juice Productions. It was going to be an actual media company. The front-facing channel would be Proud by Juice, which is linked down below if you want to go check that out. It's my Spotify, my Apple Music, my YouTube Music on there. The business backend, well, that would be Juice Productions. The DistroKid label, the BMI publisher, and an actual bank account tied to this business. And then there would be documentation through JuiceClaw, the channel you're watching right now, explaining everything that I'm building. The wolf isn't gone completely. He's just my finance intern now, gets me coffee, runs basic analysis for me. He's still useful. He's just not the product anymore. I didn't delete the AI overall. I just promoted it. So video 6 went up and I called it the reset. It was the most honest thing that I ever posted on this channel. And I was hoping it was going to reset my channel. There's no pipeline, no automation, just me, a camera, an Excalibur diagram that I drew by hand, and a real account of what had happened and why I was changing directions. It was the first video on this channel that actually worked. I spent 6 weeks trying to remove myself from the equation, but the day I stopped doing that, the algorithm finally found me. 4 more videos, different niche, different angle, different data, real data. So let me walk you through what's changed. Video 6, the reset video. This wasn't a face cam video, but it was the first time that I put myself on the thumbnail. There's no more AI generated generated avatars, just me. And the algorithmic response, 82 views came just from the browse feature alone. YouTube was finally recommending my channel, organically. Not because of search, because the algorithm found an audience that would actually click on my videos when I put myself on the packaging. This video broke through 1,300 impressions and became the first video on my channel to get over 100 views organically. The defining visual of that video was the XCalJaw diagram. I drew the entire wolf pipeline by hand, every component, every connection, one by one label, even had a typo. Because I was going fast and didn't care, I kept it. So 11 labs read Elvin Labs. The typo is in a video that at one point was performing the best on my channel, so make with that what you will. Then video 7 came out. It was a direct sequel. I didn't delete my AI, I promoted it to my manager. This was the milestone. This was the first video that I put myself on camera. I used an editing method that I called the radio edit. It started as 7 minutes of raw audio, me explaining the pivot, going back, correcting myself and what I did wrong, and cut it down to 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Every sentence had to earn its place in the video or was completely cut out. This led to an average view duration on video 7 being 76.7%. Now that's elite. That means the people who started the video watched 3/4 of it. Turns out, people actually want to see when you fail. The initial click-through rate was once again 1.9%. Kept having packaging issues on this channel, and the thumbnails were just simply not working. So I did what any good content creator would do, and I swapped out the thumbnail on day 2. And after that, the performance of the video immediately improved. The YouTube algorithm moved the video back in the incubation period, that 14-day period where YouTube decides if your video should keep getting impressions or not. The lesson I learned from this is that YouTube thumbnails are not final at the time of upload. They're a hypothesis, and you need to test them. Then came video 8, titled The Right Way to Use AI Agents in 2026. This is where the philosophy of the channel was set in place. The concept, we're building an arc. We're using AI to handle the admin, DistroKid uploads, BMI publishing registration, Spotify backend paperwork, so that the human artist can focus on making human art. We're no longer using AI to generate slop, we're using AI to pay the way for my music career. Video 8 will rank number 2 in views after the first 12 hours on the channel. The average view duration for this video was near 40%, which is up 7% or so from my average on my channel. Also in this video, there was some production upgrades. I bought an LED light panel and a telescopic tripod for my camera. Also made one big discovery that week. It's important to copy your 4K iPhone footage to your local SSD before trying to drop it into DaVinci Resolve. So I didn't know this at the time, but importing directly from your iPhone into DaVinci Resolve causes a massive delay. Also after this, I realized I had a smudge on my lens after shooting the video, but this was something that I was able to fix in post. I crushed the lift, I boosted the gain, and I boosted the contrast. This turned a flaw in recording into a late night aesthetic that I could go with going forward. I also locked in a new thumbnail pipeline. At first, I draw an ugly wireframe on XCalJaw, and then I uploaded to ChatGPT's new ImageGen 2.0 with a cinematic prompt, and it spits out something that looks like it cost $10,000 to make. My CTR, my click-through rate, confirmed that instantly, so I made sure that was the workflow going forward. And then it came time for video 9. My latest video. This video started with a failure and then became a story. Spotify's API returned check back tomorrow for 3 weeks straight. I was trying to claim my artist profile on Spotify, but the platform itself just kind of blocked me and locked me out. So instead of waiting, I made the waiting story. The core content of the video was the day shift dreamer. Remember that Windows task schedule that I built earlier in the video? I repurposed it. The Windows task schedule now wakes up at 3 p.m. every day while I'm at my day job. OpenClaw fires, compresses the memory, writes structured long-term context, shuts everything down in 60 minutes, and the PC goes back to sleep. By the time I get back home at 10 p.m. from my job, the PC has already processed all the memory. I'll show you my file timestamps as proof. The machine is working its shift. One more decision I made during week 9 was that I will no longer be posting shorts on this channel at all. Shorts audiences fragment the CTR signal for long-form, technical deep dive context videos. YouTube's algorithm treats them differently. They built the wrong audience for the wrong content. So I decided high retention, long-form content only on this channel, that's my best bet. Video 8 was about protecting the human artist, not letting AI replace them. That was the frame that started working on the channel. Now the channel isn't just all about AI, it's about using AI to build something real, in the real life that I could really use. And here's the real thing that I'm building. I've been a music producer for over 10 years now. I have 26 songs published, mixed, mastered, produced, all that by me that are out there in the ecosphere right now. This isn't just a brand new project in some type of shot in the dark. This is a return to something that I've been doing for years, just with brand new infrastructure. Juice Productions, like I mentioned earlier. It manages my DistroKid account, it's my distribution label with its own account, it's now what my BMI songwriter agreement signed under, and what my IPI number was assigned to. This is an actual media company now, documented in public. Not a blog post, not a course, the real things, the real accounts, the real filings, the real infrastructure, all of it's been shown on camera. The first EP, 6 tracks, locked in place. The first lead single is already uploaded to the distribution channels. On May 8th, the lead single will be released on Spotify, and I called it Rescind. The cover, the metadata, the DistroKid delivery, the BMI registration, the Spotify for Artists pitch window, all of it documented, all of it done with AI as an operations layer, and me as the actual artist. I'm not using AI to make art. I'm using AI to clear the path of all the administration bullshit so I can actually make art. If you made it this far, you're lucky. It's time to go over the actual numbers. Total runtime of this project, 10 weeks. Total videos uploaded, not including shorts, 9. Peak impressions on a single video, 8,600. That was during the builder era. Click-through rate evolution, 1.7% in the early generic packaging phase, all the way to 4.2% on my most recent video, video 9, about local AI and using that as a hook. My best average view duration, 76.7% on video 7. Days that I ran the fully autonomous pipeline, about 35. API providers integrated, those include Gemini, Claude, GPT or OpenAI, Kimi, Quinn, DeepSeek, 11 Labs, Hedra, Flux, Fowl.ai, Pexel, Pixabay, DistroKid, YouTube Data API, and Google OAuth. Models I use as my primary brain throughout various points: Gemini 2.5 Flash, Gemini 3.0 Pro, Gemini 3.1 Pro Preview, Nemotron Mini, Claude Sonnet 4.6, and Kimi K2.5. Local GPU models that I'm running on my 4090, Quinn 3 32B, DeepSeek R1 32B, and Lava, or at least that's what I'm calling it, for all my vision tasks. This is no longer a side project that I'm just running for fun. This is an actual AI content stack. And the failures. Trust me, there's a lot of those. Claude Opus rate limited on day 1. The exec tool produced no output for over an entire day because of communication issues with the gateway. Kimi K 2.5 wrong provider prefix corrupted the entire configuration of OpenClaw. My first post-market video couldn't get uploaded to Discord because it was 19 megabytes. Sleep-wake tasks. Error 267011. S4U logon failures. The Wolf said Dwight here. The packager hitting 404 and 429 error codes across 3 different models before we were able to find any content. The March Madness short that I uploaded for fun fragmented my CTR signal. The post-market pipeline was reading the wrong market snapshots. Spotify's API telling me to return back tomorrow for 3 weeks. 4K input hanging on DaVinci because I tried to upload it directly from my phone instead of a local SSD. Every single one of these failures is in my Git log, timestamped, and documented. And every one of those failures, well, they were all fixed within 24 hours. That's the actual metric that matters to me. Not the failures, not the wins, the time between the failure and the fix. 10 weeks. The machine broke, I fixed it. It broke again, and then I fixed it again. That's the whole job of this channel. So here's what's next. May 8th, I'm dropping my first lead single on Spotify called Rescind. It's gonna drop on every digital streaming platform, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, everywhere. The Spotify for Artists editorial pitch has already been made. Then after video 10, the video you're watching right now, I'm gonna start doing AI-driven ad campaigns. Meta and Instagram targeting designed to trigger the Spotify algorithm. This isn't gonna be a marketing tutorial. It's a DevOps project using ad infrastructure as code. Then the YouTube official artist page merge. Once DistroKid uploads a song to YouTube Music and it creates the topic page, the merge request is sent via DistroKid special access. So my YouTube channel, produced by Juice, becomes an OAC. If you want to be there when Rescind drops filing, check the link down below. Pre-save it. It matters for the algorithm. The streaming numbers in week 1 affect the editorial pitch. It's not just a listen and it's a vote, so I'd greatly appreciate any pre-saves. And I'm already working on the next build after video 10. It's bigger than this channel so far, more technically complex, and a completely different market. When it's real, I'll bring it here first, so y'all can see it behind the scenes. And that's the promise I give to you as the owner of this channel. You're gonna see it while it's being built. Not after it worked, not after it failed, but while. 10 weeks ago, I thought I was gonna be building an automated YouTube channel. But it turns out, what I actually built was an operating system for an entire media company. This channel, the one you're watching right now, is a side effect of that. The lesson I learned, AI doesn't replace you. It just reveals what you're actually trying to build. And I was trying to build a shortcut, but while building that shortcut, I learned that I actually want to build something real. The code is real, the music is real, and the media company is real. And that is the only thing that matters.